Hi, so welcome to section 4, video 19, and in this video we're going to be covering optimizing content by threading in keywords. So there are no hard and fast rules as such on actually how to do this, but there are some useful guidelines which I thought I would share with you in this particular video. So as well as showing you these guidelines, I'll actually take you through the process that I go through on a pretty regular basis when it comes to optimizing existing content on websites and threading in relevant keywords. So without further ado, what are these kind of guidelines, quote unquote? Well, like I say, there are no hard and fast rules per se, but the kind of main takeaway is you don't want to overly use keywords, i.e. overly stuff, or keyword stuff as we call it in the industry, keywords into your content. Reason for this is in around 2011, 2012, Google released a couple of really key core algorithm updates, which essentially penalized brands' websites that were looking to do kind of black hat SEO tactics. One of these being keyword stuffing. So because of this, SEO people now are quite cautious about overly stuffing keywords into their content. So previously what you could have done is you could have actually had a bunch of keywords in your content that you're looking to target, and you could actually hide them. So literally you could have, let's say you just had a page on your website which is just kind of a white background. Some people, as ridiculous as this sounds, used to back in the day actually have content in that white space and just have words, but they were blacked out or they were kind of in white, so you could actually see them. So Google would obviously crawl them because it could still see them, but people looking at the page visually couldn't see them. So yeah, dodgy SEO tactics like this were what Google was looking to penalize. Anyway, all that's to say there aren't no hard and fast rules, but we don't want to overly use keywords. It's also good to use a mix of headline and long tail phrases. So here, not just the primary keywords, but also those longer tail keywords, i.e. those keywords that were slightly longer, maybe not as much search volume, but people would still be searching for them. And also, if you're looking at WordPress, SEO Yoast can be really helpful. I'm actually going to show you a WordPress example very shortly in this video. So without further ado, I'm now going to show you a live example of what I do on a pretty regular basis when it comes to optimizing and threading in keywords into content. Okay then, to show you this practical example, I wanted to show you a brand that I work with as well, along with Exanti, so Ideal Fit. And the URL, or the page we're going to look at, is this one. So it's all about pre-workout, which is a type of supplement. And we're looking here at this blog post, which was written a year ago, and it's all about pre-workouts. Now, the content, the subject of the content isn't really important for this example. I just wanted to show you what it looks like, essentially. So we've got a mix here of images, text, and all that sort of stuff. Pretty standard looking blog. So the process we're going to go through is actually how to optimize this page to include more targeted relevant keywords. And the first step we're going to do, or the first thing I should kind of stress, is this content is already here. So in many ways, the hard work has kind of been done for us. Reason for this is because we're now ranking for a number of keywords relating to best pre-workouts and pre-workout supplements. And of course, what we're seeing here is a page I've already done and actually have optimized to target a number of keywords we were looking to target. Having said this, though, there are still some useful things we can get from this, just looking at pages that we've already done. And the first of those is to use SEMrush. So what we're going to do is, appreciate you might not have this tool, but we can still use a similar process with Google Keyword Planner. The reason I wanted to look at SEMrush first, though, is because of this really nifty feature that actually tells us what keywords we're already ranking for. Now, of course, if you're looking to create a blog from scratch, you're not going to have this sort of information because your blog isn't going to rank for anything. It doesn't exist. However, if you do already have content existing, you can use a tool like SEMrush and this organic research tool to actually look at the keywords you are already ranking for. And this is really useful because if you're ranking for some really high keywords, but maybe you're looking to rank even higher, then you can say, okay, let's target this keyword, bump it up a few places in the search results and get more traffic to our websites. I'll show you what I mean by this now. So I'm just going to copy this URL. I'm going to paste it in this feature of SEMrush, so organic research, and it's going to tell us a bunch of information about the keywords we're ranking for. Now, it's quite an intimidating dashboard, but a few things I want to check. So looking here at the US website, and we can see here we're ranking organically for 740 keywords. Pretty good. The bit I'm interested in here is the top organic keywords. So I'm just going to click view all 740 organic keywords. If I wanted to, I could filter by the certain keywords, but here I'm just going to look at the keywords we're currently ranking for. So the cool thing about SEMrush is it tells you the keywords you're ranking for over time. As you can see, actually, we have seen a considerable dip since this period here. Reason for this, there's been numerous changes, historic changes to not just the website, but also to the brand. And that's kind of outside of our control to a big extent. And here we can see the keywords we are ranking for. So this is the important section. The important columns to look at here are obviously the keywords that we're ranking for. Position, so what position are we currently ranking for that keyword? And noting here that positions 1 to 10 are the first page of the Google search results. 11 to 20 would be page 2, 21 to 30 would be page 3, and so on and so on. If you're ranking outside of the top 100, the results aren't going to show. So yeah, looking at the first 10 pages. But ideally, we want to be ranking positions 1 to 10, and of course, we want to be ranking position 1. That would be the dream. As I mentioned earlier in this course, winning SEO is ranking position 1 for your targeted keywords. So the keywords we're interested in here for this particular page are best pre-workout for women and pre-workout for women. Why is this? Well, we're ranking pretty highly for both of these keywords, and the search volume is very strong. So search volume is, or in this particular column, we're looking at how many people are searching for this particular keyword on average every single month. So in this example, best pre-workout for women, there are 14,800 monthly searches for this keyword, which is very good. And if we can get onto position 1 for this keyword, then we'd be able to target a lot of this traffic. Scrolling down just to see what other keywords we're looking at. You can see here there's a lot of other keywords we are technically ranking for, but they're not really ranking that well for. So position 97, we're well off page 1, we're on page 10. We're not going to get any traffic from that because, let's face it, who goes on to page 10 of Google search results? No one. It's a graveyard. If we go a bit further down, okay, ranking here, pre-workout energy drink at position 22, but again, not particularly relevant to this particular page. Pre-workout energy drink, we're not really going to target that above some of the other keywords. Scrolling down a bit further, just to see what other keywords we're ranking for. Okay, so workout supplements for women, not the biggest search volume in the world, but it is a very nice keyword in the sense that it is very specific. So if someone is searching for workout supplements for women, they're likely to be wanting to buy workout supplements for women. So it could be a keyword to target, position 10. So we've got all these keywords here that SEMrush is telling us. And this is what I did to actually go through the process of optimizing the content. So I selected the top keywords and just on this Google Doc now. So here, just to kind of show you, got the URL here, and I've picked out the best keywords that we want to target. So you can see here, some of these are very familiar from what we've just seen. So best pre-workout for women. Here we've got the search volume, which I've put on the right-hand side, so 12,100 monthly average searches. This was the previous position. This is the current position, although these will have changed since I did this page. And here we have some other keywords as well, which we're not currently ranking particularly well for, hence why I haven't included their positions, but they could be keywords we want to target because they have high search volumes. So here I've identified 5 keywords I may want to target in this page. The primary keyword would be best pre-workout for women, because this is the keyword which has the combination of being one we're already ranking highly for, but also it has a high average monthly search volume. And here is where we get into the content actually optimizing. So I'm going to save, or I'm going to come back to the title tag and H1 for the next video, but we're going to look here at the content. So what I've done is I've essentially, or what I did rather, is I essentially copied all of the content that was existing on this page, just in this Google Doc, and then we're going to go about just changing the content to include more relevant keywords. So looking at the content, what we can see are there are a bunch of keywords or just words that have been highlighted yellow. Now, some of these are grammatical, so they're not actually SEO related, but a bunch of them are. And the main things I've done really are just to include the word pre-workouts a little bit more frequently. So I've got here pre-workouts, here pre-workouts when it's previously just supplements for women. So pre-workout supplements for women now is being targeted, you can see here. Again, pre-workout, and what else we got? Best pre-workout supplements. So this is one example where I've actually tried to thread in that whole best pre-workouts. If I go up a little bit further, best pre-workout for women. So sometimes you're not necessarily going to get an exact match, but if you can thread in these keywords as close to, that's still good enough. And Google will recognize this. So yeah, best pre-workout supplements. If I scroll down a little bit further, I've also got it here, pre-workout supplements in the title. and then a bunch more. So again, benefits of pre-workouts for women, pre-workout supplements for women. You get the idea. Just threading in that keyword as much times as possible. And like I say, sometimes it's not going to be, it's not always going to be possible to actually include best pre-workout supplements because it might not actually be that, that particularly relevant. Can't necessarily say we have the best pre-workout supplement for women there is in the world. Might not be the true, but yeah, we're going to try and include that where we can. Just going down a little bit further. Again, just pre-workout. How long does pre-workout last? You get the idea. So threading it in where possible. Now, a question I get asked a lot is how often should you thread this keyword in? Or, the primary keywords that you're trying to target. There is no right or wrong. And of course, it depends on how long your content is. What I would say is you don't want to do it too much. And again, it's so hard to say. I mean, a lot of SEO is just kind of an art rather than a science. Yeah, you've got to just try and make it seem as natural sounding as possible, threading them in where you think it could work. And I don't want to kind of put a figure on this because you just got to do what feels right. But that's kind of what I've done here. And I've threaded in these keywords. Okay, so once you've gone through your text, if you have it already, and if you don't already have your text, obviously you've got to write some content and then try and thread these keywords in. You can then actually start to upload them onto your CMS. So in this case, I'm just going to look at WordPress, but this process could apply to Wix, Squarespace, or any other content platform that you have, or any customized CMS platform you might have. So if you're working with a bunch of developers, for example, they've customized a CMS for you. And when I say CMS, just mean content management system, then yeah, you might have a slightly different backend to what you're seeing here. Anyway, so we're on WordPress, we've got all this content, and the literal process here I would do now, once I've decided what keywords I want to change or what content I want to change, I'd literally go to this Word document that I've created and just actually start to thread and make these changes. So this is why I've highlighted all the changes in yellow, just so I can easily see what I want to change. And yeah, I would go on my platform and just make those changes manually. It's quite a tedious process, this, when you are just refreshing content. Where keyword research really comes into its own is when you've actually got content you're starting from scratch. So what I've seen in the previous section, we've got our relevant keywords for the pages we're wanting to create content for, and we can then thread these into the content as we see fit. And that's pretty much the process. Now, like I say, a lot of content optimization is an art. It's not really a science, and there's no right or wrong way of doing this. The key things to watch out for, though, you don't want to overly stuff your content with keywords, and you want to try and get a mix of longer tail keywords and also short tail keywords into your content. Hope you found this video useful. I'll see you in the next one.